Welcome. Thank you guys for joining us. Say hello in the chat if you are live with us today uh, for episode 279 of the Comics Pals. We have so many things to talk about today. In fact, we're going to be doing something a little special today. We're going to be, so in honor of the Batman's release, which it's coming out this Thursday, which is super exciting. I think that's March 4th. Yeah, March 4th. March 4th is Friday. I'm seeing it on Thursday. Lucky me. In honor of that, in our main topic, we're going to be discussing whether or not the Batman is going to be the greatest movie ever, and we're going to rank all the Batmans. So I'm super excited for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. The gang's all here, by the way. Say hello, gang.
Hello, gang.
What's up, gang?
Give us a gang, Tyler. No.
Oh, I probably should have did a gang.
Yeah. Because the wave thing doesn't work for audio.
I just had the our gang Little Rascals theme in my head, but I realized that doesn't work for audio either because it's just in my
you
head.
got you got to have them hear it, not just
Yeah. Probably would have been fine for audio, but
I'm waking up. Well, I don't know. I mean, Bill Cosby has the rights. I think he's a little preoccupied to come after us. So
you're probably all right.
Yeah, he's in a bit of a bind. I don't know if he's going to be able to come after anybody, but he probably has lawyers who are very active.
This is true.
Way more active than our lawyers. So
what? Okay.
We have lawyer.
We have lawyer.
Yeah. Come on, Bill, bring it.
Lawyer.
Yeah, we have lawyer. So if you want to help us pay lawyer fees,
I don't know why that's funny.
You can do so by joining us on Twitch, leaving us a follow, subscribing if you feel so inclined. We go live every single Saturday at 10:15 in the morning, and that's Eastern time, and Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern for Pals Pools. YouTube.com/theComicsPals to subscribe for free. Like the video if you enjoy what we do. Check out our Doom Patrol book club and our Batman Year One book club, which drops this Tuesday, which is, of course, the 1st of March. We are in Batman mode because also we have our film review for the Batman dropping next Monday. So the Monday after the movie is out, which is the 7th of March, you'll be able to listen to whatever the most recent episode of this show is, and also our review of the Batman film. I am like ready for this movie. I cannot wait. It's gonna be so good.
Did you get your tickets like the day that they allowed them to?
Dude, I got my tickets like the minute they allowed me to.
They opened the gates.
Yeah.
I got mine today, and the theaters were empty. There's a showing at my theater every 30 minutes, and the theater was empty.
Wow.
So I'm now not worried.
I'm not sure if I have tickets yet. I should probably look into that.
You told me you don't.
But that was the other day. I think somebody got tickets for me and my wife.
Oh, somebody. Oh, hook up.
Well, my father-in-law. The superhero movies become like a family affair now. So.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. Oh, maybe. Tyler's lack of response indicates that it's not as fun as it sounds.
No, it's good. It's good.
How are those auctions going?
Oh, my grandma doing auctions for vintage comic books. Let's see what we're looking at here.
Does she have anything for you yet?
She's trying to get the New Mutants lot. So to give context, my grandma is currently she likes to do auctions in her retirement, and whenever there's like a comic book lot, she like messaged me on Facebook. She's like, what's this? And I'm like, oh, this is 90s Spider-Man. You could ignore it. There's no Venom or Carnage in there. Ignore that. Oh, this is 90s Batman. Definitely ignore that. But like the lot she sent me today is like 80s X-Men and like 70s Hulk. And like it's right around like Wolverine first appearance. So I'm like, I wonder if it's in there. I'm curious. But there's a New Mutants lot and an Akira #1.
Oh,
I'm hoping she snags. So.
My first printing.
Tyler, did your grandma ever make you peach tea? Granny's peach tea?
No, Is
No.
that a thing?
Oh man, yeah, I forgot I'm the only fan of Batman versus Superman here.
Yeah.
Only fan.
In the
Did they
movie,
talk about Granny's peach tea in that movie? You sure you weren't watching the
Granny's
Axel Braun parody?
I was gonna say, isn't it pee?
it's piss, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's the
You
joke.
probably
Yeah.
were watching the Axel Braun parody.
Hey, Zimbu the monkey. Hey, Beck. Welcome to the chat. Thank you guys for joining us. Normally on this podcast, we're all jokes and entertainment stuff, but I really did, before we get into the show proper, I do want to talk about something that is actually serious. So obviously, everyone knows that, there's a lot of really bad stuff going on with Russia and the Ukraine right now. And for me personally, I haven't been able to stop thinking about it. And on this show, while we do joke around a lot and stuff, anytime real serious things are happening in the world, we talk about how we feel. So, we don't have to, it doesn't have to be a big thing, but I just wanted to say that if anybody is affected by that, know that we stand with you. Know that, it's okay to lose yourself to entertainment and comedy and whatever soothes you, comics, movies, all that good stuff. If that helps ease what's happening right now, then that's something that you should definitely feel comfortable leaning into. Whether you have family out there, whether however it affects you, it really doesn't matter. Even if you're not related to the conflict at all, but you're just hurting right now, like I am, there's no shame in trying to find solace in the things that you love. That's why we have them, right? It's not just to absorb ourselves all the time, but when we need that blanket, that safety net, something to take our minds off of it, there's nothing wrong with that. So I just wanted to say that, and know that regardless of where you are within this, I'm standing with you 100%.
And not to show our Discord at the time, but like if you want just to like be able to like talk to people, like
yes,
join the Discord for that. I
Yeah.
think that we've got a good community of like the one thing about the people on the Discord, like, yeah, they're all fucking crazy because they're in our Discord, but like they're all really chill people.
Yeah, everyone's super nice,
like-
super respectful.
Yeah, but like they'll like debate about shit,
Hmm.
but like it's always respectful too. So like it's cool.
I don't think, other than that weird She-Hulk impersonator, I don't think we've ever had
That
like
was
a-
strange. That was
Twice
strange.
over.
twice over. Yeah.
Yeah.
That wasn't meant, obviously Tyler did not mean that as a shill. Just wanted to put that out there. We'll get back to the funny stuff here in a moment. Thank you, Matt.
For me to
Appreciate
shut
that.
my face. Okay. Fine.
So speaking of the listeners, we have a bunch of messages from you all. You guys, had a huge reaction to not only last week's show, but just, stuff that's been going on in general. And so I wanted to give you guys a bit of time. We couldn't include everything because there was so much, and we did get some really good questions. So Tyler, why don't you take it away?
So I'm gonna put my most Caucasian voice on for this one. It Lies in the Noggin commented on episode 278. They said, "First fire episode. Everybody in the hood coming for Tyler and his disrespect of Inda Club. Lol. Many Men as a wedding song is hilarious. Tyler, you crazy bro. But I dig where your head's at. Once, over a heated multiplayer game of Halo. Where's this going? I was simultaneously being verbally attacked, and as soon as I found the fuck, I started to recite the lyrics to Many Men while teabagging his corpse. Good times. Doctor Strange looks crazy, and I can't wait, man. I'm here for all of your theories in the interim. Lol, fucking Sam Raimi, man."
So what's your theory here, Tyler, on the appearance of the song "Many Men" on Doctor Strange as like the breakout?
It's not. Wait, the Doctor Strange. 50 Cent's Many Men is on the Doctor.
No.
Oh man, you got
That would be
What?
broken.
I mean,
Many
it's
men
in-
as because these are multiverse variants of Doctor Strange.
it
it's
would
in the
That's
title.
broken.
It would
Many
work.
men. It's in the title.
I'm down.
I
for
love that.
Where's the you know how they had like those Naruto AMVs that had Linkin Park in the background? Can somebody do like
The only true art.
Yeah, that's true. That's true American art. That's
Yeah.
that's our contribution to manga.
Yeah.
The animated form.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Tezuka.
But yeah, somebody do that for the Doctor Strange trailer and 50 Cent. That's my
That's
request.
insanely funny.
I'll probably do it myself, honestly.
That'll be the TikTok clip this week.
Noggin, thank you for the compliment. Appreciate that you feel it was a fire episode. And that's a funny story. Noggin had a much longer comment. But yeah, it's a really funny story. And I remember those days. Any of you have those experiences on
Teabagging
Halo
people?
or Call of Duty?
Not a PS1. That's it.
Ooh.
I had a round of Halo or two in my day.
I love the idea that you had a round. You were like, let me try this Halo thing.
I'll
see what
try
I'm
this,
busting
yeah.
out.
He's like, "Hello, goodbye."
I say Halo. That's a
I hate
Jesus
that I
game.
laughed at that.
Yeah. Oh, see that's what it was, right? It was you came under the pretense of this is a good Christian game.
Yeah, of course.
Hold up. Matt in the comments says I used to make Naruto AMVs in high school. I didn't even know that.
Fucking
So I
target
put, like,
audience.
Breaking
Please.
Benjamin on there.
Tell me they're still up there, dudes, and tell me that Breaking Benjamin is on there, and also Flyleaf.
Sean, yeah. So you know the type of music that like the anime kids in school
That's
would listen
my
to.
type of music. That's all my
Yep.
music. Absolutely. I
Throw
just wasn't
some,
watching AMVs.
Skillet on there too.
Yeah, of course.
Skillet, absolutely.
Boy.
Hey Amy, welcome. So let's speaking of Doctor Strange, let's jump into Matt's comment.
Matt, so Matt says, I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to Doctor Strange with the perspective that I'm excited for another Sam Raimi movie than an MCU movie. The first DS film, Doctor Strange film, was one of the MCU's worst contributions to cinema. And if Raimi wasn't directing, I probably wouldn't go see the sequel. How do you guys feel?
Jeez.
Not
I'm
as
going
strongly as
because I
that.
have to. So
But that's every movie. That's not a different opinion.
Well, he
he didn't ask for a different opinion.
There you go, Marco. There you go. Put the pressure on. Apply pressure.
That's a pretty harsh statement, Matt, on the first
first of
Doctor
all,
Strange film.
That is not harsh in Matt's terms. This is a flowery statement from Matt.
Yeah, that's even polite.
But didn't Matt just come for me for being negative? I feel like he just came at me for being negative.
Matt is a fluid person. Opinions and thoughts can change by the day. So,
Oh man. Yeah. So how do you? I answered him already. How do you guys feel about like, would you be excited for this movie if it was still like Scott Derrickson directing, and it was the same thing, it just was Scott Derrickson and not Sam Raimi?
I wouldn't.
I think I would, because it seemed like Scott Derrickson had a cool horror vision that I would at least try.
Mm-hmm.
Despite not being into the first one. Sam Raimi does, tickle my cockles.
What?
That's not right.
There we go.
That's the
Like
guy.
it, Kale.
Cockles.
Yeah.
He likes them tickled.
I'm not upset about having to go see it because it's a Sam Raimi movie. But I probably would.
Y'all don't remember the all-white gang in Nepal and Doctor Strange? I do. They do be white up there, apparently. So,
You know what? I enjoyed the first Doctor Strange for what it was. It definitely, I haven't gone back to it. I don't have I'm not like, man, I really want to see that again. But it comes from a time in the MCU where I feel like, other than a few exceptions, a lot of the movies were like that, where they just didn't have that rewatch value and they weren't that exciting. I think that the door's blown wide open now. So a Doctor Strange movie was always at the top of my radar. But of course, Sam Raimi being the director, I'm like over the moon excited about. And I think the visuals prove that this is gonna be a feast.
That's where I am on a lot of it. Is like anything moving forward now. I have that faith in MCU stuff, and for me, it becomes a conversation about how is it going to look, how good is it going to look.
Yeah.
Because that's the draw for me. Like Sam Raimi directing, sure. Derrickson directing, fine. Like that doesn't pull me in. For me, it's going to be what is the, is it going to be something that looks like I'm going to enjoy? Then I'm down for that.
Manny, what do you mean filming in a shoebox? And welcome to the chat, by the way.
I think he means like it's just green screen. Like there's no actual sets. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think that's
just a Marvel film, really.
Yeah, and if obviously, like, how can you depict the multiverse with practical effects, right? Like, it doesn't exist in reality, right? Well, I mean, it doesn't exist on Earth. So
I think it was that Doctor Strange movie at least is one of at least the top 3 Marvel movies with 2 lead actors whose names are Benedict. I can give it that.
That's true.
Outside of that, I can't really give it much.
That's true.
I wasn't a big fan of it.
Are you excited for this one?
I am. Okay. There's another reason why I'm excited for it, because apparently they go to a multiverse that's animated in it. I think Raimi let that slip. So
interesting.
Okay, I'm learning too much.
I'm getting Roger Rabbit vibes from it. So,
well, we did also get a few Discord questions. So let's jump into those.
So, Manny, do bad stories make y'all like characters less? Mind if I answer this first?
Yeah, please.
I was able to read Shadowland, and I still like Daredevil. So I don't think so.
I'm so sick of you. Why do you have to always shit on Shadowland?
Let's do a book club on Shadowland. Just me and you,
dude.
Sean. We could do that.
It's your funeral.
I mean, you can tell me why you like it. We can do like maybe I'll like it now. Who knows?
I never said I liked Shadowland. I said Andy Diggle's run was not shit, and Shadowland is better than people say it was. That's all I said.
I think a different way to word this question would be: do bad stories make y'all like writers less? Because that's what it did for Shadowlands and Andy Diggle for me.
Okay, I want to point out first of all that every question that was submitted to the Discord are people that are in the chat right now. That's super cool. Thank you guys. Second of all, my answer is I have absolutely cooled on characters who I felt were not being treated well. And I've had that same experience as a wrestling fan. It just happens, unfortunately. It's not the fault of the character. Obviously, they have no autonomy. But yes, there have been characters, like, for example, I have a deep love for Jean Grey, right?
Oh yeah?
Yeah, no shit, right? But since she came back, and even going as far back as when they brought her teenage self into the modern era, I just feel like they have done nothing interesting with her. And so I'm not as absorbed with the character as I was when she was dead. And I hate that fact. I hate the fact that Marvel made her a more interesting character dead than what they have done with her alive. I feel the same way about the Sentry. That first run, that's one of the coolest things I've ever seen in comics. Ever since he came back, trash. I can go on and on.
There is good recent Sentry reading that I can point you to.
And I don't even know about it because I stopped checking for the Sentry.
There was a Kim Jacinto drawn Sentry. I think it was Jeff Lemire on Sentry. I could be wrong about that. It was like a 5-issue mini.
You are right.
It was very Miracle Man.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
And then they did something with Sentry's corpse in the most recent Thunderbolts King in Black run that was fun.
All right. So yeah,
So-
for me, the answer is yes.
For me, I think it depends on when I was reading, because I thought about the question and like earlier in my, I guess, reading career, right? I would have been cold on characters because I'm assuming that they're these monoliths of, this is the characterization that I'm going to get here. I'm probably going to get it down the line, and so there's that distinction between the creators on the book. I don't think was there for me quite yet. Now it's definitely creator based, and it's more so about how confident am I in how a story is going to be told using the characters themselves. And even if it's a bad story, right? A bad story from a good writer, I'm going to attribute it now to that writer, and not the character. I'm always going to give, I don't know, the next Swamp Thing and Aquaman a shot, right? Because I don't care. For me, it's going to be whether or not they can say something with them.
Marco, I gotta say, I love that the first two characters that come to mind are Swamp Thing and Aquaman.
Yeah, why?
Like, no, I agree with you. That's good, but like, it's not something I thought
boys.
I'd ever hear come out of someone's mouth. But it's good. Like, I'm like, oh, I'll always read the next Batman. I'll always read the next Daredevil.
I don't give a shit about those
Aquaman.
characters. See, those are characters that disinterest me. I don't.
Interesting.
There's nothing there for me.
You like the nature versus humanity sort of thing. All right, let's not get into that. I just thought it was funny.
How about you, Kill?
I've been racking my brain. I know that I have characters that I've fallen out with because of bad stories, but I could not figure it out. And then I remembered Leviathan.
Ooh.
Brian Michael Bendis' Leviathan. And I'm out on Green Arrow, man. I cannot. Bendis for me, he is writing everything I is or was writing just about every DC character I was super into. You get your Young Justice, your Legion of Superheroes, your Green Arrow Question, even Batman. And I hate it.
Dude, he came for everything
He doesn't
loved.
have it anymore, and he makes every character he writes annoying as shit. And it makes them completely unlikable for me.
Dude, that
Speaking of
Leviathan run
harsh.
is rough. That turned me off on Bendis. It turned me off on JRJR. It turned me off on Green Arrow Question. Like, it was like, oh, that was just bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not great. Not great. Thank you for the question, Manny. Appreciate it.
So then Matt says, how does everyone feel about one-shots in 2022? Huh.
Don't like it. If I'm gonna get something, I want it to be like a mini. The one shot, I think, can work. It functionally, right? It's gonna work. I don't know that I find enjoyment in it necessarily. I'm thinking of the one-off story that we read with Wolverine in the whatchamacallit, in the Planet, was it? No, not Planet Hulk. Oh God, what is that book?
Like, the issue I'm having is I can't even remember any one-shots recently.
we read it for the show.
It was a Wolverine one shot. Oh, that internet.
Oh, yep. All right. So I guess I'll talk then. Yeah, I don't know of any one-shots. I feel like we're really focusing on the anthology one-shot in comics nowadays, with like all the DC special books, like the Valentine's Day and the Halloween ones, and then Marvel does like those like timeless ones that they just did with the Kang, where it's more of like a sampler for what they're doing in the main books.
Right.
I don't know of any actual one-shots. Maybe what's that X-Men series that was all one-shots? Giant Size?
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know of any actual one-shots. Maybe you guys can remember some for me, at least within the last year or so.
So it was the Old Man Logan one.
Oh, right.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
And I enjoyed that. I remember sitting there and being like, this was fun. and then I didn't get something afterwards, and then that disappointed me immensely because I wanted to keep exploring that.
They did follow up. It was just a different, like it was another one shot, if I remember correctly.
Right? Yeah.
And it was a different character.
And it
a
was
different
right.
world. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't the same thing that we got there in that contained story. Like I would have taken that to be like 4 issues, cool. 3 issues, give that to me. That's it. If I'm gonna get a one shot, and maybe this is a format thing, but give me like I don't know, an oversized issue or a graphic novel at that point.
Like an annual.
Yeah, Annual is actually a good example of like what you get in a typical one shot.
Even now, I feel like annuals are the usage of an annual is like, here's the finale to this arc that's going on, or
Not even. It
they
feels
use
like
it as the
it's just there.
anymore. Yeah.
I stopped buying annuals. I used to buy annuals like religiously, and now I don't buy them because I feel like they're irrelevant. I don't know. Like, there's a lot more one shots I feel now than there were when I started reading comics, which is cool because sometimes, like Tyler said, it can be a sampler. Especially if it is an anthology, a lot of times it'll be like, you know, oh, Marvel Incoming or Marvel 1000 or whatever, which can be cool. But for the most part, what that tells me is that this is not worth my investment. You are saying, hey, company is saying, hey, I don't know that this is going to sell that well. So we're going to put this out and see if you want it. And if you do, we'll do more. If you don't, we won't. And I also know that this is not going to contain the big idea, you know, unless it's like for example, let's say what's the next event? Judgment Day.
Invasion. Oh.
Let's say it's a Judgment Day one shot and it's like a prequel to it or whatever, or like a previously on build up type of thing. I'll buy that because maybe I missed some stuff. I need to catch up, or this is going to be where the inciting incident happens. Stuff like that. Yes. But if it's just like Shuri one shot, no, I'm not doing that.
Kieran Gillen did a whole bunch of Eternals one shots last year. Those were actually really good. There was a Dustin Weaver drawn one that was
I was really tight.
Yeah.
I feel like in the hands of the wrong creators, one shots can feel, especially at the big two, one shots can feel very generic.
Yeah.
And that's a huge problem. That's a real turnoff.
To Matt's point, in his initial question, he did also bring up other publishers, and I can't really speak to that because I don't like, if I'm not really that inclined to buy one shots from Marvel and DC, and it's really case by case. So I'm really not inclined to buy them from other publishers. Like, I bought the Spawn's Universe one shot because it was, you know, a major deal. But other than that, I'm not really checking for one shots like that.
The creator of Chainsaw Man last year put out a story called Look Back, which was just a one-shot story of sort of the artistic process and how making manga and comic books are very lonely. And it was absolutely incredible. So I think for me, if I have a one shot, especially from a creative team that I like, I'll go for it, but I would definitely prefer a completed story.
And not only that, I feel like one shots and annuals are priced higher.
Right.
They are.
They're priced higher, and usually they're not the creative team that is on the main book. So I feel like they're more targeted towards like the person walking into a comic book shop for the first time, and it's just big number one, you know, where they can kind of just sell them on like this, like, oh, there's some bang for your buck. But like, yeah, I mean, the last annual that I read is like the Batman one, which was like the conclusion of the Ghostmaker backups. That was good, but yeah, it's not really used as well lately.
Yeah.
When they can do a 0.5 BEY Spider-Man issue, you know, like
I hate those.
I guess
so
those
much.
are one shots.
Yeah. We had one last one. Thank you,
Yes.
Matt. Appreciate it.
So Kefis said, I've always been a big fan of Elseworld stories, and lately this seems to be a bit more of a trend. Do these stories work better if you have a long history with comics or not?
I don't think it has to be a long history.
No.
I think it helps to have some basis, even if it's just like, the character's origin, so that you have some idea of who this person is. But other than that, I don't think you need a long one, because I think a good Elseworld story will ground what it's doing in its own reality.
Let me ask you guys a question.
Mhm.
Would you guys consider, like, let's say the Ultimates universe, Elseworlds?
No.
No.
I think I would.
See, I would. And in my, like, that's how I started reading comics. The first comics that I like when I became an active reader was Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate X-Men, New Avengers.
Mhm.
And obviously Ultimate Spider-Man was super different, X-Men super different than what I knew. But I had a baseline knowledge from the shows that helped me to kind of like at least understand the very basics. And then I had to submit to not knowing anything else. And that was okay, because it was like, well, they're teaching me what's happening here, right?
Yeah.
I do think, though, I will say that the further the premise is away from the original idea, the harder it is to get into. So for me, even as a veteran now of reading comics, something like Dark Knights of Steel is like this is so much, like this is so much. And like, I'm not saying it's not good or anything, but like the first issue had so much legwork to do. And I was like, all right, this is fine. But like, I have too many questions and I know they're not going to get answered. And I've been around the block too many times. So
That's how I felt about Earth X. That book felt like it was doing a lot of work trying to show you and do something new, but also trying to pepper in the characters that we were familiar with all at the same time.
Right.
Like, for me, Ultimate isn't an Elseworld because maybe it started off as that, but because it was built at its own line of comics, it kind of supersedes Elseworlds to me. Elseworlds I think of as like one and done storylines inside a thing, and I think DC does Elseworlds much better. I think Dark Ages is like the first recent Marvel Elseworlds thing that I can even think of. Maybe like the Old Man Logan stuff. But
is What If Elseworlds?
I don't think so. I think it's its own thing as well. I mean, Elseworlds typically is a DC name. If you're going like Elseworlds, that's, I think, a copyright of DC. But
Kefis is saying he said publisher regardless, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think it would be.
But honestly, personally, I think DC does them better because I think, like, especially the big two, Batman and Superman, they are, you inherently understand their origin, and you don't really need to spend time in that. I have a single, it's a one-shot issue of Metropolis, and it's a mixture of Superman's Metropolis and the movie Metropolis by Fritz Lang. It's like an Elseworlds book. It's very interesting. Yeah, I did not know it existed. And I bought it on eBay. It's awesome art. Metropolis
what is this called?
It's called Metropolis Elseworlds or something like that. I had no idea it existed, but like I like that kind of stuff. I'm thinking like Kingdom Come.
yeah,
That's another like good Elseworlds thing. I think in my head they're not built up universes as much as they are contained stories. Does that make sense? I guess maybe What If, like the most recent What If, the Zdarsky Spider-Man What If, that feels like an Elseworlds to me, and I think that was kind of billed as something like that. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Gotham by Gaslight. It's another kind of Elseworlds thing. Like, I wish they would do it more. They kind of are doing it more lately because Tom Taylor writes comics, so
they got the guy for that.
He's like the king of that.
I guess my problem with your definition is just that, we have two canon universes, right? In Marvel, you've got the 616 and then whatever it is DC calls theirs. But, in the case of Ultimates, like very different things happen.
But
And
that,
you know, our line of canon is 616 and Earth 0 or whatever the fuck. So you know, Ultimates, though built up, is slightly to the left of that. You know, so it's not our thing.
And how is that different than like Deceased having 3 fucking versions, like 2 sequels? You know, like that's a whole thing now that's been going on for years. Injustice for years. Go ahead, Marco.
but because to Tyler's point though, right? Like, what happens then when the universes cross over? How do we categorize that? Is that Elseworlds?
Marketing.
No, but I mean, like,
I think the marketing is what's doing it for me. Like,
but
in
when
my
we
brain, it differentiates the two.
I mean, but what about, you know, Marvel Zombies and when it crosses over?
well, yeah, at that point, like, are you considering that part of the canon? Because technically, it's part of the canon now, right? So is
If
that
it comes
now,
into the canon, then sure. But
Right.
you
So
know,
It crosses that
doesn't.
barrier between main
Yeah.
universe.
I think, yeah, it's you know, it's the difference between an alternate universe story and an alternate universe opening in the canon and coming into our universe.
And also, Ultimates and 616 didn't have an official crossover for many, many years. They were separate for a long time. And also, DC has crossed their Elseworlds over with main continuity stuff constantly. That's how we got those different Earths.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like there's really any difference at all other than how you personally feel about it. But if we're saying that something other than what happens in mainline continuity is Elseworlds, then I think you have to include Ultimates and Marvel Zombies and all that jazz. And then maybe you could say that the stories that take place with those characters colliding with 616 is canon to 616, but it doesn't make Marvel Zombies stories that took place outside of 616 canon to 616, if that makes sense. Like it doesn't de-Elseworlds them in my mind.
Sultan String said something that's breaking my brain when it comes to this. Is Batman and Catwoman an Elseworlds story? Like, oh shit, is it? Is Black Label Elseworlds? Like,
yeah, sometimes.
I want to say I don't want to think about this anymore because it hurts my brain.
Also, because your definition is bad.
Well, you're assuming I put actual thought into my definition, and I didn't just improv it in the spot. And I'm also questioning my definition in my head. So,
well, Kefis, you win the no prize for breaking all of our collective brains and causing the longest discussion of the show so far. So thank you for that. Let's dive into Comixology. Let's get into the news. Let's talk Comixology. So, as you guys all know, Comixology done goofed. Well, Amazon done goofed, and they ruined what was a tremendous service for people who enjoy reading their comics digitally. And the entire internet turned on them, including one Patton Oswalt, who is now the emerged hero of the entire industry, whose voice is more powerful than anyone's, even ours. To the point where Comixology has finally put out a statement in response to all of the yelling. This response actually came just 2 days ago. So that means that response came on Thursday, which is pretty late in the game. But they did speak to the issue. They put out a tweet that included a video guide to explain how to engage with certain features that people were saying that they didn't know how to use anymore or whatever. I believe this was an 11 or a 10 tweet thread that they did. And so they said, we want to take a moment to address the transition to our new app and comics web store experience. We know this process has been far from seamless, and we've heard your feedback. We understand how important improving the web reader experience is, and we are working as fast as possible to implement those improvements. This is our top priority right now. We've already rolled out an update to Fire OS app, and we're working on a bug fix for books that aren't loading in HD. We're making a number of other updates, prioritizing fast, incremental improvements to ease the hardest pain points. Soon we'll be rolling out updates to our new releases filter and the new releases page across the app and web so that the filters work correctly. In the meantime, we'll keep the more new releases category up to date with all the new releases for the week. While we work on these and other refinements, we wanted to highlight some things we've heard customers couldn't find, but which are still available in the new Comixology experience. Essentially saying, and this is me talking, essentially saying it's your fault that you don't know what's going on now, even though this whole thing's a mess.
I'm a dumb Cheeto eating comics reader, Sean. I don't,
Yeah.
Oh, you're eating Cheetos while you read comics? Ugh.
Well, digital comics, with my chopsticks.
Moving to the new code base and away from our dedicated web experience was a tough call, but it's an important step towards our long-term goals to share our love of comics, manga, and graphic novels, and to reach more lifelong fans. We hear your feedback, and we recognize that there's a lot to be done. We appreciate your patience and support while we do everything we can to bring you the experience we envision more to come.
What upset me was the video on how to use the guided view, because this is the only feature that they still have that they can be like, cool, this is cool, right, guys? Like, this guided view, that's pretty fucking dope, right?
Doesn't work on desktop though.
Everything else is everything else is fluff. There's just so much, like it's so broken at this point. The new releases, they didn't update on like Tuesday, so I had to sort of wait later in the day to buy stuff. I still don't know how to get my shit. It brings you out of the experience every time you want to buy a book.
Yeah.
There's so much that they haven't actually addressed in this thread that it feels empty.
Also, like just PR 101. Like, put this out Friday night at like 4:45 p.m. Like, put us on Thursday so you get Friday heat all day. Like, it's not a good announcement. Like,
so Rich Johnston, who of course is the guy at editor or at Bleeding Cool, he's the founder. He put up an article summarizing what they had said, and he added this little nasty factoid. I have spoken to a number of comic book publishers who have told me that their digital sales have dropped by anywhere from 20 to 70% as a result of the change.
Jesus. That sucks.
That's brutal.
I would bet the 20% is Marvel because they have a reasonably decent app.
Even Infinite. Big two stuff for sure. Because you can't that, and then the fact that you can't get indie books the way you used to anymore.
Yep.
That sucks for me because a lot of the shit that I buy is indie, and it just doesn't exist.
Dude, Marvel threw shade last week.
Yeah.
They were like, hey, our app works great. Eyes on the Twitter, the Twitter emoji thing.
I'm probably going to get Marvel Unlimited Plus, honestly.
I think I might too.
Also, they have $100 one for the year that comes with physical goods with it. It comes with like a Peach Momoko X-Men Polaris cover and an X-Men Legends Kitty Pryde action figure with Lockheed.
Nice.
That's
speaking
to me. That's speaking
for $100. That's not bad.
Yeah, and it gets you the whole unlimited experience too.
Yeah, I mean, this is a nightmare. They really screwed up, and even this response just doesn't feel like enough. It doesn't acknowledge enough of the problems. It doesn't speak to what's going to happen for people outside of the U.S. It just leaves us in the cold in a lot of ways, and this is a lifeline for people. I mentioned earlier how comics can be a thing that people turn to in times of crisis to heal or to escape from problems. And you're basically saying, hey, screw you guys, we have a vision that we want to enforce on you. Well, what if we just really liked what was going on before? You can't take away the gourmet meal that I was eating, give me shit, and say, hey, don't worry, we're going to bring out Brussels sprouts later. We really think you're going to like the presentation. Just eat this for now. Promise.
First of all, don't knock Brussels sprouts. That shit's fucking delicious.
No.
It's real good.
Come on.
A little Parmesan on it.
Off.
Put that in the oven. Bake it. With
See, no, you like cheese.
No, it's light. It's mostly the Brussels sprout. Trust me. Like there's a good.
Yeah.
You cook it on the stalk.
All right.
Ooh, real good. I think of it as like you're telling your friends like, yo, I got this real good cookie recipe that next time when you come over for the party, I'm gonna bake it. It's gonna be great. And then you take it out 3 minutes into cooking. It's like, oh, these maybe could have been good if you worked on it a little longer.
See, the thing though, thing with that is people like cookie dough.
You don't like half-cooked cookie dough. Trust me.
Sure,
I've
do.
tried it. It's
Are you kidding
disgusting.
me?
There's a middle ground there that does not work.
One of the other things that I think is not being addressed in the thread, and probably because
Great.
Yep. Well, Marco,
Apparently, it's not being addressed here either.
Yeah.
Dude,
you're good. You're good. You're good.
you good? Am I?
Yeah.
But there's stuff that just isn't and won't be addressed because of the new system.
Right.
The countries, for example, that's never coming back, and Comixology doesn't want to say that because they know that Amazon doesn't offer services outside of certain regions.
Oh yeah.
And so that why put out a tweet, because you're just gonna get flamed about that. So you can't talk about that. You can't talk about fixing some of the experiences because it's native to the Amazon platform, and that's another thing that they're not gonna address because it's just a non-fixable.
Yeah, they didn't address the what is it, the indie creator submit, Comixology submit.
Well, it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. They didn't even they addressed DRM comics, but it's like, oh, you can get the ones you previously bought. It's just deep within settings somewhere.
Yeah.
But good luck getting DRM free comics elsewhere. I think it's funny. I think Mark Wade's previous Thrillbent comics reader, it was like right when Comixology was around. I think he was publishing stuff on there. Like, was it Infamous or Irredeemable? I think he did. Him and like a guy we was working with like made a digital comics platform, and then the guy he was working with, whose name I'm forgetting right now, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna see what I can do about getting Thrillbent back. So like there's a vacuum now that I think somebody's gonna fill.
Hope so. We did get a couple of listener comments on this subject, so if you want to read those too, people are confused.
Yes, yeah. So Chillmonger said, I'm still trying to figure out how to read my Marvel comics that I redeemed.
So good luck with that. But speaking of Chillmonger, we actually did a collaboration video that you guys should go check out on his channel, just Chillmonger on YouTube. Really cool guy. We discussed the Marvel Voices Legacy issue, which was the anthology book that Marvel put out for Black History Month. We discussed, the Comics Pals did a review, and I kind of said how I thought it was, a disservice and it just didn't do enough. And so we made a video discussing what we thought Marvel could do better in 2023 to make it a better experience and actually a celebration of their Black characters. So go check that out. It was a pretty cool video. Give them a subscribe too while you're at it.
You guys didn't talk about Night Thrasher though. I was kind of disappointed. There wasn't any Night
well, you should have been there, dude. You're the resident Night Thrasher stan.
I guess.
Yeah.
Skateboarding vigilante, man. It's great.
Mm-hmm. And then we got another one.
So the other one was from Lars Leonhard. First of all, is this guy a Final Fantasy character? Like, that's a great name, first of all. That's good. I bought a ton of Comixology comics, and I'm not so keen on the changes. I have to wait and see approach, though, but a part of me regrets getting them in this way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I can't fault you for getting them that way originally, unless you just started Comixology, a month ago when the changes were in the pipeline coming. But, like, you didn't really have an option before this, You still don't really have an option.
But even then, the experience was better, which somehow is worse now.
I feel like I got baited. I bought in on Scott-tober. Jeez.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how many people got in like that?
Can you imagine how pissed off Scott Snyder is?
That's what I was gonna say. He still hasn't said anything about it, has he?
Not to my knowledge.
He's been pitching his Dark Horse collections of that stuff, I think. Recently.
Right, yeah.
On his Twitter, yeah.
Yep, we have Demons is coming to physical.
So he's pitching the print version of those Comixology books.
Oh,
so
I bet.
I think that's almost bit of undershade there.
And last thing, we do have to move on, but I'm not saying this to say, haha, people who don't buy physical, but this is the true benefit, like the legitimate benefit of buying physical, is that this can never happen to you. And it sucks that anytime you buy literally anything digital, you have to consider whether or not this shit will occur. I have purchased music through iTunes that like they don't even allow you to listen to anymore. Songs that are just not available, like certain songs that just randomly get taken off of the platform. If you use Apple Music, it changes like the wind. It's super annoying.
Nintendo fans are experiencing this right now. They just closed
All the
down the
time.
3DS and Wii U eShops.
Yep.
Yep.
So
brutal.
there's digital exclusive stuff to the 3DS that you can only buy in the eShop that is just gone now.
Yep.
Like if you didn't download it, you cannot get it anywhere.
Ever.
Yeah.
Legally.
And I think the physical cartridges for 3DS games are physically falling apart now too. So, because of what the materials they were made with.
To echo Sean's last positive point, Comixology does offer a guided view, and you should go check out that video on how to use it.
All right. Well, you know what? Speaking of positives, let's talk about Valiant. That's something we haven't done on the show in about a year, maybe longer. So Valiant has made an announcement that they are putting out a few new series. They've got Book of Shadows, which is coming from something called the Dead Side War. I don't know about any of that.
You know about the Dead Side War?
No, I know about the Dark Side War, but the Dead Side War, I'm a little shaky. But so what's cool about these announcements is that, first of all, these are characters who, you know, I'm not exposed to, and I've been looking for my way in on Valiant for a while. And so here's what is bringing me to the table, back to the table. The book we're talking about, Book of Shadows, is going to be written by Cullen Bunn.
Heyo.
And it has Ricardo Latina doing the art. They say in the announcement that's a rising star. Okay,
Matt's
great.
A big friend. Matt always talks about Latinas, so I think he's a big fan of that artist.
Do you have any knowledge
I
here?
I think you ran away after that one.
But they've also got a Bloodshot announcement. Did anybody ever end up watching that movie, by the way?
I don't even think Vin Diesel watched it.
Oh, shit. But there's a new Bloodshot book coming, and on the cover they put for mature readers only, which I figured out from the blood and like pieces of I don't know what flying all over the screen and the endless bullets on the cover there. But it's by Dennis Camp and John Davis Hunt, so that's cool. But here's the big one, right? Exo Man of War Unconquered, Becky Cloonan, Michael Conrad, and Liam Sharp. That's a squad.
Those are some like DC gets. Those people are actively working DC projects too. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Liam Sharp. I personally haven't seen Liam Sharp doing anything other than DC in a long time. So this is super exciting. I don't know if I've ever have.
This is enough to get me on board. And then I thought, does Comixology even have Valiant anymore?
I like how any kind of announcement now you have to put it through the lens of, can I get it digitally?
Right.
Can I buy this?
How hard will it be to find this? Will I
I
remember?
wonder how hard Valiant's been hit by something like this, right? Is this so? Marco said he's in on it. Is this enough for either of you guys to want to pick up one of these books?
For me, I could never really. Exo Man of War has been pretty impenetrable for me. I have enjoyed a couple of Bloodshot issues. There was a Bloodshot issue that we did on a long box that was a black issue. I think in the story,
What does that
Bloodshot.
mean?
In the story, not black, not blacked issue. That's a different thing, whole different thing. He gets blinded in the book, and the whole issue is just black pages, and the story is told through word balloons, really. And sound effects. It's a blind issue, really. It was really interesting. But for me, like my two favorite properties at Valiant are Archer and Armstrong, and what I almost said, Booster Gold and Blue Beetle. Quantum and Woody is the other one, which I think are both getting newer creative teams, but that's coming more recently. I'll check this out. It would be a good thing to do a Valiant book on the Pals Pulls. So
Yeah.
Am I excited? No. Will I read them? Probably.
Well, we have to wait all the way until July for Book of Shadows, and then September for Bloodshot, and November for Exo Man of War. So a long time to wait, which kind of sucks. These announcements feel way too soon. You can't really drum up excitement this early out. But
Well, I mean, not after that Liam Sharp book. He needs the time.
fair enough.
Yeah. And non-US readers won't be able to even like pre-order this. They have to write like a sticky note because they can't pre-order it for Comixology. Like
That has been. Oh, that's another thing they didn't even talk about. Fuck. That sucks.
I don't have much more to say about this other than, you know, I'm excited. It's another universe that I've never really checked out. I've been looking for my way into Valiant. So maybe this will be it. Hopefully. We have Pals Pulls now, so we just have to decide we want to read them, and then it's done.
we can just drop a Spawn book instead and then pick up a Valiant book.
I don't know, man. I don't know. When you look at the numbers,
I do have
If
to say,
if the Valiant heads came out the way the Spawn people did, we'd be reading Valiant books.
That's true. That's true. I gotta say, I do not. Can they just please redesign Exo Man of War's costume? I think it is one of the worst costumes in comics. It just looks like naked Gray Fox from Metal Gear. Like it just, I don't like it. It's too muscly. It's like a angry Mr. Goodbody.
I don't know. I got to see it in motion. I think this image looks pretty cool. But, you know, speaking of cool, let's talk about ComicsPRO. So ComicsPRO is an annual event for publishers and retailers that, you know, everyone shows up for. This is where you got a lot of big announcements from. Generally speaking, all the big publishers turn up. This year, like the last couple, it's been a virtual event. And, you know, this is where we get a lot of announcements. We're not going to do a full examination now because Tyler, you're muted.
Oh no, I didn't say anything. I was just mouthing something.
Oh,
yeah. I was putting myself out there without interrupting you. But
I see. That's your new tactic.
Yeah, I'm trying something out. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, what were you mouthing? Because I can see it.
I just said that's a lot.
Distracting.
That's a lot.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll try it in my head next
time. We're not going to do a full announcement or a full breakdown because the event's not even over yet. It does take place from Friday to Saturday, all throughout Saturday, and so I don't even think the Marvel announcements have really hit yet. But all the major publishers were there except for Image, which is weird. Skybound had some presence, but Image as a brand was not present. I wonder if that has anything at all to do with the drama surrounding the union.
Oh,
because we haven't talked about it in a while, but that's not going great. There's been some problems there, so I just wonder if they were trying to avoid any backlash with that. But everybody else is there, and Boom, the president of Boom, Philippe Sablik, he made a big speech at the event. He wasn't, I don't believe he was the keynote speaker, but he did give a speech that you know, was really good, and I encourage you to check it out if you want. They did put the conference up on YouTube. The key points, though, were really great for Boom, and I wanted to highlight this because, you know, we don't do a lot of Boom coverage on this show, but Boom is booming. Boom's booming, and this announcement might blow your socks off. Something is Killing the Children, which we know is a big book, has sold 2 million copies in 2 years. 2 million.
Something is killing the records there.
Dude, something is breaking the records, and it's James Tynion. I mean, this is incredible. So comparatively, right? Like, what book has Marvel put out that has sold 2 million copies? You know, have they sold 2 million X-Men's? in 2 years. You know, I don't know. I'm not saying they haven't, but
You mean their Marvel 1000 didn't put out those kind of numbers?
that was so foolish. Oh man.
I did a review of every story in that, and that was a fucking bad idea.
So that's a huge boon for them. Berserker has sold almost 1 million copies,
Oh, so close.
which is weird because I thought that it had eclipsed that before it even came out. But okay.
So it just stopped. Just plateaued.
Yep. I guess that it was really like that first issue was the big deal. Boom is hiring 33% more staff, which is amazing. It's cool to see them directly connect the increased sales to new hires. That's fantastic. I feel like we don't always hear that. But I guess other companies are probably just hiring all the time and we're not paying attention. And on top of that, they're bringing on some major creators for their next wave of books. So they announced a new book by Stephanie Phillips and Flaviano called Grimm. We don't have details on what these books are about, but they did put out covers. You can, glean from them what you will.
Good too.
Yeah. They announced something called Fence Rise by C.S. Pacat. I don't know who that is, and Johanna the Mad.
Fence.
Oh, you know about that?
That's a webcomic, isn't it?
It's a popular fencing romance comic. So right down Marco's alley.
Isn't it funny how every single time Marco's about to say something relevant, he gets cut by his internet? We're also getting Hollow from one of the co-creators behind Lumberjanes. Wow. Shannon Waters, Brandon Boyer White, and Bernice Neal. That's cool. But they also have books coming from Maxon Tomlin, who is the screenwriter for the Batman, which is so weird because Matson's wrote The Imposter, Batman the Imposter for DC. I can't believe that they didn't lock him up. It's good too.
They may be waiting to see how the film does.
True, yeah.
Maybe. They also have Lee Bermejo, whatever. That's a big get. That's one of the best artists out. And Charlie Adlard.
Oh,
Also a big get. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
I haven't seen Adler in forever.
So all those creators are making their next books over at Boom. That's major.
And those last two you mentioned, Adlard and Bermejo, it does not seem like a typical Boom artist. Like the new book announcements they have are very YA kind of, feel to it, which is a good niche market that I think Boom is doing a real good job of curating too. But Bermejo and Adlard are much more mature artists, I feel, especially Bermejo.
Yeah.
I don't see co-creator with Lumberjanes and Lee Bermejo on a book, but although I wouldn't mind it, but I'm very curious to see what they come out with.
Yeah, I mean, this, we've talked about how successful Boom has been, and it's so cool to see that success is parlaying into, more and more success, and more jobs for creators, more options for creators. One of the things that the president of Boom said was, hey, we haven't seen that dip in sales that we all thought we would at the start of the pandemic. We need to stop looking at this period as anything other than the new way forward and just embrace it and figure out how to maximize what we're doing right now that's working. And I thought that was a brilliant point.
It's a shame they were undercutted by Comixology so quickly.
Way to turn it back to that story. Yeah, I agree.
The thing is, every new comic book announcement now has to go through that lens, which sucks.
It's true.
Well, and especially through the eyes of the pandemic, because so many people turned to digital comics.
Oh, you're right.
That what the fuck are we gonna do now?
You're right. It's legit not even a decision. It's not a choice. It's a choice between reading comics or not at all for some people who just don't have stores.
Like if this had happened pre-pandemic, whatever, Comixology probably would have just died. But now, people are in this weird void of like, what do we do?
Yeah, it's a lifeline. So before we move into the DC side of the announcements so far, do you guys have any thoughts you want to share about where Boom is at right now? How do you feel about this stuff?
Boom's booming, man. It's good stuff.
Boom is booming.
Like the fact that this is a small publisher and it's having this kind of success.
Well, I don't know, a small publisher.
Well, I mean, in comparison, it's what probably I guess fine, fair enough. It's like the fifth at the moment, maybe.
Yeah, they're one of the big five.
Sure.
I mean, I know you can just say big and then a random number, and that's a thing. But like, there are what, 6 companies, like,
and for it to not be Marvel and DC to have the kind of success that they're having, it's a good thing for the industry. It means that people are stepping outside of their typical comfort zone and picking up more stuff that isn't the big 2.
Absolutely. Well, as I said, there is a DC side to this, and this is where things get a little odd. So DC announced DC Mech. Yeah.
Some Evangelion shit.
Which is literally what it sounds like. Remember that time where Marvel put all the X-Men in a Power Rangers Megazord? Remember that time where the Justice League were in a Megazord? Remember that time where the DC characters were dinosaurs? Well, now they're just mechs.
I'm for it. I'm all for it. Sean, who's the creative team on this? Did they announce that? I don't have it in the...
It's it's here. It's Porter. Who's Porter? Kenny
Howard?
Porter.
Oh, Kenny Porter. Okay,
So Kenny Porter, who did Flash, Fastest Man Alive, and Fearless, and then Baldemar Rivas, who did Robins and Batman Urban Legends. This will be out July 26th. I don't know. I don't like gimmicks. I don't like gimmicks.
This is an Elseworlds story, though. We just talked about it. This is just another Elseworlds thing. I feel like it. I feel like this falls in the Elseworlds category.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I just
Marvel's
don't like
doing
it.
Something identical. They're doing like this Marvel Tech Zero mech thing, where it's like the villains are kaiju and the heroes are mechs.
Sure is. You can always tell an Elseworld story is coming because the synopsis always, especially from DC, starts with "at the end of World War II."
This isn't for me, but for anybody who it is for, I'm glad.
You can hear a review on it on Pals Pulse in July.
You can. They also announced Aquaman and the Flash Void Song by Colin Kelly, Jackson Lanzig, Vasco Georgiev, and Rain Barreto. This is an Aquaman and Flash team up book. Don't think that I think this is probably also an Elseworlds book.
They've been doing stuff with Aquaman recently. There's Deep Impact, I think, is or Deep Earth or something. There's some kind of weird Green Arrow crossover book where he's teaming up with
Aquaman and Green Arrow,
which I actually hear pretty decent. But I guess they've been doing this lately, teaming up Aquaman with another major hero to maybe give Aquaman more of a rub, or maybe it's the reverse at this point. I don't know. Maybe it's to give the Flash the rub, for in the comic book space, but. It's fine. I don't know if I'll read it, but it's fine.
They announced something called Diana and Nubia, Princesses of the Amazons. So this is cool. This is by a couple of New York Times bestsellers. I'm assuming that they write YA books. This is a middle grade story. So you can pick this up for your kids if you have a daughter, if you have a son, whatever. Or if you just want to read the adventures of Diana and Nubia. That's cool. This is coming out in July, I believe. So yeah, good stuff. Of course, the big announcement from DC is the new creative team behind Batman. We now know that Chip Zdarsky and Jorge Jimenez are the official long-term creative team on Batman. They'll be starting on July 5th with Batman 125. So bye-bye Joshua Williamson. Hello, Chip. This is great. This is a really, really strong team.
Question: did anyone for the year-end thing pick Chip Zdarsky as a breakout? Because this is, I feel like, that status. You're writing Batman?
Out,
that's an interesting wrinkle.
I don't remember if anyone picked him.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
No.
I don't think you can pick Zdarsky as a breakout. I think that's a stretch.
That wasn't. So the idea behind it is like, who's gonna have like the best, like the biggest year, and it gets ramped up the bigger the creator is. So if you pick Chip Zdarsky, then he has to be writing like the main, like for example, Batman, doing an event, something like that, something huge. And I'm not sure if I'd qualify this as that, but I would listen to the conversation. I'd hear the argument.
Sure, I'd hear the debate. Yeah. But this guy's also writing the major Marvel event right now and continuing his Daredevil run. So like,
right. But this is a major deal.
It's huge for him.
And Jorge Jimenez on that art, dude, that's enough to get me to pick up an ongoing Batman book. Like, that's huge.
Have any of you picked up the Zdarsky Batman book that's going on right now? I think it's with Comixology on art.
No.
Mm-mm.
It's on my list. I have it on my to read pile, but I haven't gotten to it yet. I trust Zdarsky 100% with anything at this point.
Yeah,
it's weird because I feel like as far as writing is concerned, he kind of came out of nowhere, and I thought it was I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. Like, does he really have chops? Turns out he's one of the best writers in the industry right now.
Man, you sleeping on him? He came up with Sex Criminals, and then he started writing Howard the Duck.
But wasn't he the artist on Sex Criminals?
Yeah, he was.
He was, yeah. He wrote at least an issue in it. I know he did like interim things, but like Howard the Duck, that honestly, I'm like not even joking. Like Howard the Duck is where I was like, oh, this guy can do shit. This shit's really good in terms of like emotional work. There's that one issue of Howard the Duck where he meets Bev again, where it's like
from the
shit.
film.
Yeah, where it's like a real emotional beat. And I'm like, oh, he made me sad in a Howard the Duck book. Okay.
He showed it must have been in his newsletter. He showed his like original trade of, it was either Born Again or Batman Year One. I know it was a Frank Miller book, but it was like both sides of the spine were broken. It was barely held together. And it was like, okay, this dude, like I've always seen Chip as sort of like, he came from outside comics and he's doing really well, but like his comics are probably just whatever. But like, no, this dude knows what he's doing, and it's coming from a deep place.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about what he's gonna be doing. He said, when DC approached me to write Batman, I immediately thought about things that could really challenge the character mentally, physically, and in terms of his relationships. Failsafe, which is the name of the arc, is his doomsday. When I started mapping out the story, I got really excited about where it could take the title. He also talked about Jorge Jimenez and how he's a superstar artist, which is absolutely true. He said, really, I'm just writing the Batman book I want to read. A dark book with wild action, huge stakes, and hopefully a lot of fun. My main Batman reader that I care about is my brother. He's followed the book for a long time, and I really just want to make him happy for once in my life.
I feel that.
Oh, man, that's funny. And then the cover's super cool, and they have some multiple covers and interiors that all look great. Batman's been in a weird spot for a little while. Obviously, people really enjoyed, well, I shouldn't say people really enjoyed. Some people really enjoyed the Tinian run, and it did sell. The Williamson run's been okay, but it's not a run. It doesn't feel like a run. This feels like the start of something real for the first time since King, which was a long time ago now. So I'm excited.
the thing that's got me excited is in this comicbook.com interview, he says the past few years have had a lot of Batman on his own with so many Robins, etc., in his orbit. But I wanted to really highlight the Batman and Robin aspect of the characters while maintaining the darker feel we're going for. Tim Drake is a favorite of mine, and being able to highlight him has been a lot of fun.
On.
So Tim
Guys,
Drake is the Robin.
This is a Kale Batman book.
I
I
know.
will be picking this up.
Yeah, it's a Batman Year One inspired Batman and Robin story with
Fucking
Jimenez and
hell.
art. Ooh,
Man, come on.
And you know what's so cool about that too is that I truly believe that Chip Zdarsky can handle and manage the Batman and Robin relationship in a way that we really haven't seen since Morrison, which is well over 10 years ago.
With Drake specifically?
I think he could do it effectively with any of the Robins he chose, but I think Drake is interesting because of the fact that, you know, we really haven't seen Batman interacting with Drake in a mainline Bat book much.
Since the
Ever.
New 52, yeah.
Yeah. So this is huge for that reason. Any fan of Tim Drake, like, now's the time to get hyped. And I include myself in that. So yeah, tremendous announcement for a character with a major movie on the horizon. Of course, we are talking about the Batman. We are going to be ranking our favorite Batman movies in the main topic today. And we're going to be answering the question, is the Batman going to be the greatest Batman movie ever? Obviously, we have no clue, but we're going to discuss, you know, is it going to be able to topple The Dark Knight? Is The Dark Knight even the best Batman movie? Tune into our main topic to find out the answer.
Not with Batman and Robin in contention.
Oh, God.
some bat nipples, guys. I put a separate entry for bat nipples specifically.
Perfect.
Yep.
So we're going to rank the films and then rank the
We're
nipples.
ranking by
in the
nipples,
film.
right, Sean? Is that what we're
Yeah.
doing?
Mhm.
That's how I set it up.
You guys can do whatever you want to do, but
I set it up by nipples.
Sean, bless you.
Why
Sean
put
said
Catwoman in
at the
there?
top that he was excited about this. I think he's going to leave very disappointed.
you might be right. Twitch fam, we will be right back. 5 minutes or less. You guys know the deal. Thank you for waiting. Be right back. So as you can see on your screen, if you're not watching on YouTube or Twitch, we will make sure to describe what's going on. We basically have a tier list sitting in front of us, and on it we have every Batman movie that has been released. Not every animated Batman movie, but we did include Mask of the Phantasm. The logic there is partially just like, you know, was it released in theaters? Mask of the Phantasm feels like a movie. It just happens to be animated, whereas like I feel slightly differently about like Hush or some of those ones. I think that would be a different
What I think Phantasm was theatrically released.
It was.
yeah, right. Yeah, that's
Okay,
what I
yeah,
meant. Yeah, that
Okay.
that's why it's here. You do see Joker and Catwoman. We're not actually going to rank those.
Yeah, we can move those there. That's more for just to fill them out.
But we are going to rank all of these films. So let's kick it off right away, and we're going to go in chronological order. Let's kick it off right away with Batman 66. Now, I'm out the gate. Okay, I'm out the gate. I feel like this is and I've seen this movie many times, so, you know, putting that out there, I would put this in the C category.
Whoa,
I think this is a solid Batman movie. It's not what I'm looking for from Batman, but I think for that time, it's got a lot of characters. It's funny. It's engaging. It's solid. I enjoy it.
I've not seen it. I know that it's campy. I know it's OG Batman, and I give it credit for being one of the
Great.
newest Batman villain, Spectrum Internet.
Yeah.
That's Marco villain.
bro. This sucks. Now on my back.
Marco, I'm just
Yeah.
glad it's not me for once.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah.
Yeah. I would say B for this one. B for Batman. I'm gonna say B for everything because B for Batman. I think C is fair because that's right in the middle. Is that where your mind's going, Sean?
Yeah, it's not the best, but it's far from the worst. We're gonna get to that. I could be swayed towards B, but because there is an S tier. If we're gonna use the S tier, then that's fine. This can be a B.
Sure. I'm thinking B because it's I think first theatrically released Batman movie. There are some previous Batman movies that are, I think, but I think it was TV. I'm not sure they were theatrically released. It's like super early Batman stuff, and they might even be foreign. I don't even know. I didn't add them to this list, but
No, they're not foreign. I think I have one of them actually. The 40s one.
yeah, the 40s one. Yeah.
It's a B for me for sure.
Yeah, I think it gets
What?
points for being the first theatrically released one, and it's the definitive Batman movie for this type of Batman.
C for camp.
B for Batman.
Mm.
I will also say B. I will allow it.
let's
I will
give it a
allow
little-
it. Let's bump that
Let's
up
give
to
it a
B.
B.
All right, wrong answer,
So-
but
So we're slotting Batman 66 into B. I do want to point out we have S, A, B, C, D, and F. S is the highest tier. So whatever's an S, that's absolutely broken. I see exactly one S tier movie. No, I see two. I see two S tier
Okay.
movies on this list. We'll debate that. Please do share your ranking of these Batman movies with us, whether you're watching now or later, listening later. Whatever your ranking is, share that with us. What do you guys think we're going to put in S? Know that I'm going to fight for my life as we get deeper into this. Trust and believe that. And when we get to the Batman Forever, Batman and Robin place, there might even be an argument. We don't know. But let's jump into 89.
89. Huh. Is 89 anyone's favorite Batman movie here? I want to start with that.
No,
Mm-mm.
Okay,
No, sir.
I think that's fair.
but it's real good.
It is good. It is good. My instinct is that it belongs in A tier. I don't think it's S tier. I think it's A tier though.
See, I would even argue it's B tier.
I would put the next one there. Like if we're in
See,
terms
I
of
would
the-
put the next one higher.
Okay.
I agree
Why
with Kale. I actually agree with Kale. I think that Returns is a step above 89 because of the characters. I frankly like Catwoman and Penguin more than I like the Joker. And
I mean,
go ahead.
if we're going by Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman, it goes into like SS tier.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't make a tier for that.
We can't even rank it based on that.
Yeah. But I guess 89. It's got Nicholson Joker. It's got the in a warehouse filming set of Gotham City. It's
good.
It's good.
I'm not saying it's not good, but I just think that when you compare it to Returns,
There's
you
better.
know, Returns is just does more, and it looks, for me, it's like they learned a lot.
That's what I was gonna say.
fair.
It feels like with 89, it feels like they're trying to find their footing, and they do a decent enough job. But Returns really just takes it to that next level that puts it where it needs to be.
Oh my god, the medic, that's hilarious. Yeah, I agree. I'm with you. I have it. I have it in B.
That's fair. We also gotta we can't just say, oh, they're all good movies. Let's all put them in A. Like,
Oh,
B
we're
is
not
fine.
there yet.
B B
And
for
also
Bob the
guaranteed
Goon.
some of these are going to move later.
Yeah.
B for Bob the Goon. That's what I'm gonna say. That's
Bob the Goon. That's my favorite goon in a movie, dude. I swear, I love that guy. Do you guys know who we're talking about?
He's
It's been a while.
The guy looks like Fisher Stevens. Is it Fisher
He's
Stevens?
I don't know who Fisher Stevens is. He's the Joker's right hand man in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love that guy. But yeah, okay. So B for 89. Now let's do Returns. Again, I feel like Returns is an A movie. I saw it the other day.
Solid
It's
A.
brilliant.
Yep, solid
Danny
A.
DeVito too as the Penguin. Like,
Yeah.
Christopher Walken is the mayor. Like,
Yo, well, he's not the mayor. He's he owns Shrek.
Oh, he's the
in the
bad guy,
streets.
yeah.
Shrek, right? Doesn't he play Shrek? Donkey.
Shrek, yeah.
but Christopher Walken in this movie alone is more memorable to me than anything that happens in Batman '89.
Charisma.
Interesting.
That's harsh. What?
I mean, I think this gets the points above 89 for the fact that Paul Rubens is in it. As,
Yeah.
that?
Daddy
100%.
Cobblepot.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
he's
Pee
the-
Wee Herman.
he's the clown, right?
No, he's
Not-
Cobblepot's dad in the flashback.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
What an inspired choice.
Random.
that was Burton just saying, "Yo, I'll make sure all my friends are eating. You know, like give you some of that Batman money."
If anybody should have been the Joker, it should have been Paul Rubens.
Just saying,
So-
the secret word of the day is I don't know.
Paul Rubin.
Yeah,
So Kefis said, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills in response to the medic saying all up to Dark Knight trilogy is S tier. Now, Kefis, I need you to understand something right now. You're my ally because this whole list is about to get insane. After we rank Mask of the Phantasm, this list is about to make no sense. And I'm going to need your help to argue with these jokers about the placement of Forever and Batman and Robin. So
that's not where it's gonna get insane for me. Let's.
yeah. Okay. So put
89 returns is A, right?
Returns is A tier. Okay. So now we have 66 in B, 89 in B, returns in A. Now let's talk about Phantasm.
S, 100,000% S.
I'm with Kel on this one. I'm on S. Phantasm is like, it's not only like one of like the definitive Batman stories. I feel like it's like one of the best animated movies.
Yeah.
Of all time. Like it supersedes just Batman.
I watched it last year and I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was tremendous, but it wasn't as good as I remembered it.
Criminal.
But for being that Batman animation, though, I think it deserves the S tier. That like pinnacle animation.
Okay. So
we got
I will
3S.
give you this. I will give you this, but just know that there's not enough room in S for everything. And I'm going to go very hard for two of the movies that are still yet to come to be in that slot. So
Right.
we will return to this later.
We can
already
fight
know-
about the fact that Batman and Robin is going to be in the S tier. That's fine. But
I
Mask
agree.
Phantasm has earned its place.
I agree
S-
with Sultan of Swing. It's an A. I completely agree. I think it's
so
great.
right now we got 3 S's, right? It's a 1A. So I'm going to have to put it in the S for now. It may change. It may change.
All right.
It
So
won't.
Mask of the Phantasm is the first S tier movie that we
S
have
stands for
here.
shit, right? All the shit movies are going there. Is that what we're doing?
By the way, just so you all understand, if Joker was able to be on this list, it would be an S. Just so we know.
I put it here.
All right. So here we go. This is Batman and Robin. When did this?
Oh wait,
come
hold
out?
on. No, this is.
Yeah, you guys.
We got to do
flipped that
Batman
wrong.
Forever first.
Batman Forever. Okay, yeah. This came out in what, like 96, 95?
95 or 90.
No,
Oh, it's
Batman and
Batman
Robin
Forever.
came out in 98.
Right. So probably like 96.
Yeah.
I want to say 96.
This is the one with the Riddler and Two-Face and Chase Meridian. The introduction of Robin, all that jazz. For me, I go C.
Oh my god.
Yep. Me
I
too.
go C.
Me too.
Tyler, you're really gonna have that reaction to Batman Forever?
So if this is my personal list, it would be S tier.
You're insane. You can't. That.
Wow.
It is it is one of my favorite movies of all time. But I realize that is a personal choice, so I can't put this in S tier. I would say
Dumbfounded.
That's incredible.
it is A for me if I'm going to argue this, and I can maybe say B. C is just
No, there's no way you can say that Batman Forever is a better movie than
it's got
Batman
Kiss from
89
a
or
Rose.
66. Dude, 66 does Forever better than Forever.
No, dude.
Yes, absolutely.
Maybe I'm taking this outside of like this being a Batman movie, but like it is peak Jim Carrey. in it. Yes, is he really doing Edward Nygma? He's kind of doing his own thing. It's a little jokery, sure. And then Tommy Lee Jones is doing something. He's doing something. That's for sure. It's got Nicole Kidman. Oh, Chase Meridian, fantastic in that. It's got Dick. It's got some Dick in it. It's
we know you love that Dick
in it.
Oh, love Dick, man. It's great. It's
I think I'm swayed. I think it's an A.
You guys are psychotic. We're not doing this morning.
It is.
We cannot do that.
It is unabashedly trying to be its own thing. It has this aesthetic look that is against what Tim Burton did and what the animated series was. It was like, hey, Schumacher's like, I'm gonna do my own fucking thing here, and it's great.
He beats the Two-Face by throwing a bunch of coins in the air. Like,
it's great.
That's a fucking Batman move. Like, that rules.
Two-Face is in a triad relationship with a devil and an angel. One of them's Drew Barrymore.
Come on.
It's stupid.
It is great.
So we're averaging
the
a
movie.
B.
We're averaging a B at the moment. Yeah.
No. Thank you, Kefis. Kefis says, dude, it's Batman versus two idiots trying to be the Joker. Different is definitely not better. He's completely right.
Well, okay.
They're not even playing the Riddler and Two-Face.
It's going to be just because we're splitting the difference.
It's not a B. It's not a B. I cannot abide this.
Well, it ain't a C.
It's definitely not a B.
If I'm saying A and Kale went to A and you guys are saying C, we got to go with B. It's the middle.
What? That's not how that works. Go to the chat. Go to the chat.
The chat are discussing this. They are.
Yeah,
this is our ranking.
There's no way that's a
B.
There's no way that's a B movie.
To B.
We can go back on it. If we need to discuss later. If everything's in B, then we'll discuss it.
Catherine says C plus. That's at least a B.
Yeah, you gotta go upwards. She's a teacher too, so she knows this ranking system. So
yeah.
C plus isn't an option. I think it's got to.
There's no C plus, and I don't care if she's a teacher.
It goes up.
That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. She might be giving wrong grades to her kids. I don't know. I'm not in her class. I have no clue. All I know is that right now, you guys are being crazy. There's no way that Batman Forever is on the same tier as Batman 89. That's crazy.
Let me paint
it's
a
not
picture for
one
you.
tier worse than Returns. No way.
I'm gonna paint a picture for you here. Ready? You're at Burger
I hate your
King.
pictures.
You're at Burger King. It's 1995. You're at Burger King. You're having a nice, Whopper Jr. and some fries.
I hated Burger King.
And your parents got you. Your parents got you one of those Batman. Those Batman glasses, the ones that probably had lead paint on them, and it was like embossed, and it's like, oh, this one's got the Riddler glass. Oh, and then you went to the movies, and you saw this movie that had Batman and Seal mixed into one.
I didn't see it in theaters, and I was a McDonald's kid. Next.
I hated Batman in 1995. It's the funniest thing Sean has ever said in the 6 years we've been doing this podcast.
Wait, I didn't say that. I said I hated Burger King in 95. I love Batman in 95.
Even better. God damn. Funniest thing he's ever said.
I can't stand you guys right now. Go ahead. Fine. It's in B. But this next movie, if this next movie is not in F, I'm leaving the fucking show. I can't do this.
Yo, double SS tier. SS
no,
tier.
come on. No.
Plastic lips.
No.
Yes, dude.
No.
Need to put you on ice.
I'm afraid I'm a little cold to your opinion, Sean.
Oh my God. I hate my life. I can't believe this is what I'm doing.
Mr. White Christmas. I'm Mr. Snow.
I should have just gone to college. Why am I here? This is the worst. Put that movie in F.
And we're still here.
Put it in F, please.
Add a new line, Tyler. SS tier, and that's where it goes.
Yep.
SS. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, we were already justified. Batman Returns is the only SS movie because of Michelle Pfeiffer in a body.
Michelle Pfeiffer. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
I would argue also though, Uma Thurman.
Fuck Uma Thurman.
Whoa.
I'd love to.
Hey, I've worked with Uma Thurman, and very nice lady. Very nice.
I don't care. She sucked as Poison Ivy. Mr. Freeze or Arnold Schwarzenegger sucked as Mr. Freeze. What the fuck was that Bane?
Is this
Put
around
that
the time?
movie in F. Put it in F.
I forgot about Bane. Definitely A tier.
When Schwarzenegger was having an affair with his maid. Like, was this during the time of this movie? Yo, that Schwarzenegger illegitimate child story is great because like you look at the kid and like it's a spitting image. Like there's no way he can deny that kid. Never mind.
Yo,
this is
where's Kefis? Where's Matt? Someone with reason. Can you please get involved? Like this is crazy.
That's the craziest thing you said all day. Matt with reason. You made me knock down my weight.
Dude, more reason than you right now. Okay,
okay.
Can we just get past this, please?
I'm gonna say
We're trying, but you're the one knocking it down.
I'm saying if we're being reasonable here, C. I'm gonna say C.
No, that's
C
fucking
at,
crazy.
C at worst.
Maybe D. Maybe
No,
D.
no. There. So what the fuck do we have F here for?
Oh, we'll have an F later. That's for sure.
It better not be Batman versus Superman because I will
Yes, it
legit
is.
leave. There's no fucking way. This movie is garbage.
I don't want to say it's F. I think it's got its place.
Yeah, in the trash.
No, this is like a go-to blockbuster movie.
My man said go to. You're gonna pull me out of character, Tyler. I can't do this. I
You're in
can't have this
character?
conversation
We're
on the
doing
air.
characters?
I can't do it.
All right, so
Catherine says realistically, it's not great. I'd say D cannot be an F because it's still entertaining.
see, I agree with her. I agree, and it's entertaining because it knows it's stupid. They put ice skates on Batman. Like you can't do that.
Oh
seriously.
my god. The more you talk about it, the worse it gets. They fucking put ice skates on Batman. He has a credit card. Batman pulls out a credit card.
Weren't
You don't
they?
think Batman
Weren't
has
they?
money?
Weren't they disguised as gorillas at the point of the ice skates? Oh, come on, that's a B. That's a B right there.
The
That's
pink
a B
gorilla stuff.
move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put
yeah.
it. Listen. Put it in D, and let's move on because I can't no longer
that
do
suit.
this.
Yeah, I'm fine with D on that one. All right. That's fair. That's fair.
It's an F movie. It's an F, and I hate this.
Sultan,
I hate that I had this idea. Why the fuck would I do this? Why would I do this with you guys? Oh my god.
Sultan of Sweden said D plus courtesy pass, so it doesn't get held back a year. You know what?
That's fair.
Just get rid of it, and so
Let the
you
next
never
one
have
do
to
it.
see it again.
Yeah.
It's the problem child of Batman movies.
Batman Begins is, I want to say 2005, 2006. This is the revival of Batman. Studios were very concerned. WB was very concerned about the stink that Batman had on him post Batman and Robin, how garbage that movie was. So they were very trepidatious about this, but they got Christopher Nolan, who was a hot director, and they put this movie out. For me, this is an easy A.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I think that's fair. Yeah, I think A is a good spot for it.
Wow. No controversy there.
I don't. Yeah, no. I think that's a pretty straightforward movie. It's got a Raish Al Ghul. How do they pronounce it in this? Is it Ra's al
Raish.
Ghul in this?
Raz.
In the animated series, it's Ra's al Ghul as well.
In the movie, it's Ra's al Ghul, which
In the
played
movie, it's
by
Ra's.
Liam
Well,
Neeson.
no. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Well, little problematic in today's lens, but you know.
Oh, Liam Neeson. Oh, for the right. Yeah, I didn't like that back then. I thought that was stupid. I think it's stupid now.
You want to knock it down to B, or is not
No,
stupid
fool.
enough? I mean, he's the main villain of this movie. Do you have?
I'm not
qualms
saying
with the main
he's
villain?
stupid. I'm saying it was stupid that they didn't just cast a person, from the Middle East.
I mean,
But-
it was,
They didn't want to do it because of the reverse of what you're talking about, because of the implication that he's a Middle Eastern terrorist warlord. Wow, big
Well,
racism.
You need
So,
star
they
power.
were-
You got to have Liam Neeson there.
they had
Interesting. So they cast an Irish person. That's not a.
It was right around the
No
time
one cares
Muhammad
about Irish
Hassan was
people.
a WWE wrestler too, so they were very wary about what. could
One
go
of my
on.
favorites of all time, by the way. That's for another
boy.
podcast. Okay, so we're solid on Batman Begins
That's fair,
at
yeah.
A. Kefa says Batman Begins is S. I can't say that. I can't because of the movie we're about to talk about. And I feel like S is reserved for very few things. So now we're on to The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight, of course, you guys know it well. This is the premier superhero movie, most people's favorite Batman movie.
It's a great Joker movie.
Tremendous Joker. this is the movie that I think people saw and said, "Oh, comic book movies are legit. Like this is a real thing." Without this, we're probably not where we are in terms of comic book films. So I don't think that there will be any controversy. This is an S movie.
I have to dissent. I
What?
don't.
Okay.
I don't. It's not. By far, it doesn't fail. But I am not a Dark Knight fan. I think over the I think it's colored by over the years I've seen it so much that I don't like it anymore.
Who hurt you?
If I had a list, it's. I mean,
I
give
can
it
back
an
up
A.
Kale here.
Oh my God, Tyler!
No,
Listen, dude,
come
I'm
on.
losing respect for you
No.
by the minute.
My
Stop.
instinct says S tier, but I think there can be, if we're ranking these as Batman movies, I don't think there's much Batman in The Dark Knight.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I think the stars of the show are the other characters. It's Joker, it's Harvey Dent, and there's a lot of good Jim Gordon in it.
Who the fuck is the star of Batman and Robin?
George Clooney.
Nipples.
The credit card.
The ice skates. I mean, hey, we got Batgirl on that one too. So I mean, I might want to see. I forgot Alicia Silverstone as Batgirl. I think that goes up to C. We'll
that goes up.
Bump
That goes
that
up
up to a C.
Bump that up.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I have control here. I'm gonna do that. We'll talk about it.
Oh, was it LL Cool J in the Batmobile race scene? Am I making that up?
I don't think so.
I don't know. Are you thinking of Thunderball?
No.
I'm thinking of an LL Cool J racing movie. Rollerball?
Maybe he was. I don't know. Rollerball, yeah. Please move that shit down, dude.
All right,
please.
we'll move back down to D.
You try to sneak it in.
Can we not? Because we're almost at 2 hours.
Fine.
Can we just put The Dark Knight in S tier?
We'll put him in the S tier. All right.
Okay,
This,
thank you.
This, I think, is going to be a hot button topic here. Dark Knight
Dude, you
Rises.
guys have been fucking me for the last 20 minutes on this tier list.
Bad news, my man.
Don't do it to me now. The Dark Knight Rises came out in 2012. It grossed more somehow than The Dark Knight did. It features the only live action version of Bane worth a damn. And for me personally, as a human being, I enjoy this movie more than The Dark Knight. In my list, don't give me that. Tyler, you've had some of the worst takes of all time today. Do not give me that. Okay.
You said best wrong.
And this version of Bane should belong in the B.
I love that accent, by the way.
You thought you could take on the bee. I was born in it, molded by the bee.
Okay.
B tier for
It's
me.
A
I don't know
tier.
if you guys got that.
I would put this would be an S for me. This would be an S.
Well, good thing you're not the one doing it, right? So A tier.
You said, okay, Mark, so we got S, we got A. Kale, what do you have on this? You said B?
A hard B for me. Yeah.
It's an A.
Ooh,
if
for
it's
me,
not going to be
if
a B, if it's not going to be an S, it's an A.
If I'm being honest, in terms of rewatchability, I think it's even less rewatchable than Batman and Robin.
You guys are fucking
No.
crazy.
I
Oh
don't
my
think
god.
I think
How
it is-
can
it is
this movie
trying
be
way
on the
too hard.
same tier as Batman Forever?
No, I would put it below that. I mean,
You're
so if
crazy.
I would say personally a D, but for the show, I would put it in C. I don't think it's that great.
It's I'm not relenting. I'll be here all day. That shit's not going in B. There's no way. It's
You're
not
not even letting
better.
it
It's
go
not
B.
It's
All right,
not it's not
so
on
we
the
got,
same
we
tier
got
as
one
Forever.
C, we got one B, and we have two A's. Is that it?
We have no C's.
I'm saying C.
I'm a B.
No, there's no way.
A solid A.
So we've got two A's, a B, and a C. I don't know how to do math with letters. We got variables here. That sounds to me like it's either a B or an A. I'll put it in A, I guess, because there's two A's, so that wins out. I don't agree with that at all.
But technically, Sean said S, so that all averages out to the A.
Sure. Okay. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
I'll live with the A. B, I would have had a legit aneurysm.
Catherine
can you
Catherine
say-
says, I think for me, Dark Knight is highest for the villains, but DKR is a solid A. With that said, Kefis says, this is where I dissent, Sean. Dark Knight Rises is bad. D at best.
Oh no.
I agree,
Dude,
Kefis.
you
I
know
agree.
what? If you think that The Dark Knight Rises is bad, let's have a chat. I'll explain to you why I disagree, and I guarantee you that by the end of that conversation, you will bump it up 2 tiers. I guarantee it. I genuinely believe most people do not understand that movie.
Can you do
Anyway.
a quick reasoning for that? Because I'm kind of curious.
I can't. I'm sorry, but I can't. So just to recap, in S tier right now, we have Mask of the Phantasm and The Dark Knight. In A, we have Returns, Begins, and Rises. In B, we have 66, 89, and fucking Forever. And
CBS.
in C, we have nothing. And in D, we have Batman and Robin. Now we are on to Batman versus Superman.
I have to sit this one out. I didn't see it.
Okay, fair.
Fair enough. So this, of course, is Batman's first appearance in the Snyderverse. Originally, it was supposed to be a Superman movie. It's still kind of a pseudo sequel to Man of Steel, but not really. And it's Ben Affleck's first appearance as Batman. How do you guys rank this?
F.
Lots of firsts. Oh, come on.
I'm not even joking. I despise this movie. I think it is pure trash. I think it
You're
lacks an understanding
wrong.
of both main characters.
You're wrong.
It shows
There's no
everything
way.
that Zack Snyder did wrong with DC movies.
So Batman and Robin understands Batman better than this does.
It understands a version of Batman better than
A
this does.
version. Okay, so this understands a version of Batman.
I don't think there's this version of Batman is. I think the closest you can compare it to is Miller's Batman. Sure, if you're gonna
Yeah.
say there's a version of it, sure.
Yeah, 100%. So that
I-
argument falls apart. This movie cannot.
Well,
you cannot say
I just did.
that. No, you can't. but you can say
Batman
whatever
is
you
F.
want,
I
but
can
you're
say it
wrong.
again.
I just proved you wrong.
No, well, I'm not even done. I think as a film, it doesn't work. It is ugly. It is stupidly color graded throughout it. I think the score
Batman
is
and Robin
dumb,
is ugly.
but at least it knows what it's
Come on.
doing. And it has an
It's
idea.
ugly. And Tyler just agreed. It knows what it's doing. So
It
does
is-
Batman versus Superman. It knows
No,
what
I
it
don't- I
wants
don't
to do.
think-
You don't
I
have to
don't-
like it.
I don't think it knows what it's doing, to be honest.
Of course it does.
No, I think insofar as what it thinks it's doing is, oh, Snyder likes Batman. I think that's as far as it goes in terms of what it knows what it's doing in terms of a story. I don't think it's a good movie. I think it is plotting and plot. It introduces Batman doesn't really matter. At its core, it's a Superman movie. Once you get to Doomsday, it throws in Wonder Woman just to do it. It is ugly, joyless. I despise Batman v Superman. I think it's pure shit. I'd put it in S tier if S stood for shit.
Well,
It's not an F, dude. It's
yeah, that's ridiculous.
I'd put it in either C or B.
I'm putting it in B.
So I guess C. We have our first C then, if that evens out there.
I can't believe we're really gonna put this in C and Batman Forever.
It's above
is
Batman.
still in B.
Batman and Robin.
Batman
It takes all of it.
Forever is fucking bad.
It's great.
This is
ensemble.
unbelievable.
At least
Then why is it in the A tier?
Yeah, I think you're proven wrong just by this tier list.
Yeah. Huh.
right, so-
Catherine says, I hear Affleck does well as Batman, so feel bummed that I didn't actually see it outside of Justice League. I just can't bring myself to watch it. Is it worth it?
If you want to round out your Batman experience,
I think
I think depends on what your opinions on Man of Steel were.
I think that
That's a good point.
if you want to see Ben Affleck's Batman, this is the only movie where you really will, because in Justice League he's just not big enough a part of it, and in the Joss Whedon version especially he's just not very good. And in Zack Snyder's Justice League, it's a better movie, but Batman is not as much involved because of Cyborg and others who got short stick in Joss Whedon's version.
Sorry.
So
I'm thinking of the DC posted like celebrating Black History in DC movies and TV, and they showed like multiple characters like Deadshot and stuff from the movies. They did not show Cyborg in there in that tweet.
wow.
Imagine why.
Yeah.
All
They
right,
might have showed
so-
Doom Patrol Cyborg actually instead.
So Batman, Superman is in C. All right. Now we have Zack Snyder's, or I'm sorry, Joss Whedon's Justice League.
Oh, Joss Whedon's Justice League.
Yeah, I have both Justice Leagues on here.
Okay, Joss Whedon, F.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you, Cal. I think I might have put it as a D when I originally saw it, but now after seeing Zack Snyder's version and then seeing all the drama behind it, it's even left an even worse taste in my mouth. I'm gonna say F.
I would say F if Batman and Robin were in F, but because Batman and Robin is in D, I don't think that this movie is worse than that, so I would put it in D.
So, gun to your head, somebody says, "Hey, you have to sit through Joss Whedon's Justice League or sit through Batman and Robin. What would you rather sit through?"
Justice League, 100% every single day.
You'd be there longer with the gun to your head. I would just, in terms of time, I would go with Batman and Robin. It's less time of danger.
Justice League is at least the characters are who they are. They are who, like, you know, I know them to be. Batman and Robin is an abomination. The characters just aren't.
So
like,
you're saying
it's
D.
just-
You're saying D.
Yeah.
I got 2 Fs and a D. Marco.
D. It's a D.
Man, I guess I need like a middle ground here. I mean, I said we round up, so I guess it'll be D. So look at that. Batman and Robin and Justice League right next to each other.
That's an insult to Batman and Robin.
I agree. I agree.
I think that's an insult to Justice League.
Lego Batman is the next one. that I have on here.
Oh,
Justice League was an insult to me.
This one I haven't seen.
Lego
Oh,
Batman
really?
was actually really good.
It's really fun. It's
Damn.
I haven't seen this
this-
one.
so it's just me and you, Cal. Okay, I guess we'll.
Oh, sweet. Okay, S. Fuck it.
Lego Batman is. Sean, have you ever played the Lego video games?
Yeah, I played
Like
Lego
the
more.
IP ones. Yeah. So this is that in movie form. It's literally Easter egg after Easter egg after Easter egg. It's got Will Arnett as Batman, who like really nails the cheesiness of a brooding Batman in a world where nothing else is brooding.
Zach Galifianakis as the Joker, I think was incredible. I think the cool thing about this is it really looks at the it looks at the dynamic of the Joker and Batman in a different way
Yeah,
than has ever been done before.
almost
you
like
know,
an
you-
unrequited love romance story.
Yeah. And it's not, it's not treated seriously. It's not, it's not necessarily anything special, but it is unique,
Joker's
which is an
whole-
oxymoron for sure. But
Yeah, Joker's whole MO in this movie is "Notice me, senpai." Like that's literally
Yeah.
what it is. It's got Michael Cera as a super optimistic, happy-go-lucky Dick Grayson Robin. They make jokes about like all the bat suits. There's like they bring up bat nipples. Bat nipple shows up in this. All right, so if there's bat nipples in it, then
S tier.
it's at least D because we put Batman and Robin. In it, so. Well, they make jokes about all that, and I think like Harley Quinn is in it. Like I think Condiment Man might have shown up somewhere. Like,
So where are you guys putting it?
I'd say a B, right? I think that's fair.
I feel like it's at least on par with 66.
Yeah, that's kind of where I am. Yeah,
I think it's a suitably modern version of the 66.
yeah, I think that's fair. I think they even bring in shark repellent in this too. So
Amazing.
I'm cool with B. That's fine.
So yeah.
All right. So that brings us to the last movie on this list, which is Zack Snyder's Justice League.
In black and white.
Yes,
Would-
that's the one I have here. So yes.
Okay, good.
Pick your
Yeah,
Or
poison.
no, whatever. I
Um,
don't think that matters in terms of the discussion of the actual.
I think it absolutely matters. It moves
You
it
need
from
me to
an
add
A
both
tier to
versions
an
up?
S tier.
Oh my God.
Oh, we got Kino Kun Laude over here.
um, this one, so it's tough, right? Because we're ranking Batman movies, and Batman is not a major part of this film. But I do really enjoy Ben Affleck's Batman, legitimately. And I think that this movie is an improvement upon, I mean, it's obviously like way better than Zack Snyder or than Joss Whedon's Justice League. And I think it's an improvement over Batman Superman. Batman Superman is really dark and joyless, like you mentioned. This one is a little brighter, and it introduces new characters who help to round out Zack Snyder's Justice League and blah blah.
Like
blah.
Cyborg.
Exactly.
This movie
So-
reminded me what I liked about the Man of Steel trailer. Remember that trailer? That was so
Yeah.
good because it was dark. I mean, it was shot like a Zack Snyder movie. The trailer was, but there was a part there was hope in it still in that trailer, which I think lacked being in the actual movie. But I think it existed in that trailer, and I kind of got a feeling of that in this longer version Justice League.
In my personal list, this would go A. But I think that for the purposes of what we're doing here, this is a B.
I think it's C for Cyborg.
It's, man, I can't believe I have to tolerate Whedon's Justice League as a D, and Snyder's Justice League is automatically better than that. So it has to be a C. And that's infuriating.
I feel you, but I'm staring at Batman Forever and Batman and Robin.
Oh yeah,
not
you
in B and
browbeat
F.
you browbeated Dark Knight into
I'm-
S tier. So yeah, we get what you feel.
I'm
Dark
saying-
Knight in S tier, Kale, is not a hot take. Simmer down.
I'm
That's-
gonna say
that's
I
a
won't,
C as
thank you.
well.
That's a really normal thing.
I'm gonna lean towards C or B. I think it is a better movie than Batman v Superman by far. I don't think it's a good movie. I think this was at least enjoyable to watch, although a little too long.
It's a little.
But is it a better Batman movie? I don't think there's much difference. I mean, Ben Affleck gets to show his chops a little more. Although the newer scenes, he looks like he doesn't want to be there, which apparently he didn't want to be. My gut says C, but if you guys are more towards B, I'm okay with doing it B.
I'm saying C.
All right. I think that's 3 C's then.
There you have it.
All right. Let's see there. All right. So I think that's a fair list. I kind of wanted to see. So you would say Joker would. So I think just so we have an F, let's just do that. Let's just move Catwoman to F instead of the not available. I think that's fair. It is not watchable.
If we were gonna, I mean, how many of you have seen Joker?
I have a
I have
complicated relationship with Joker. I thought it was a movie that shouldn't have been made. Mostly because like in high school I was horrified of like getting shot up in a movie theater because of what happened. But as a movie, I fucking love Joker. I think it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably one of my favorites on this list if we were actually gonna add it to it. But
Yeah, for me, like I said, for me, I think it would be an S.
it's easy A for me. Teetering on S for me. Yeah.
I'd say S. Like slap that boy up there.
Yeah, let's fuck it. I put it on here. Let's put him somewhere. There we go. God, we look
All
like
right.
fucking edgelords with this by putting Joker in S tier. I hate that I like Joker. I hate that I like it so much. I didn't want to at all. I shat on this movie up until it came out. And then when it came out, I was like, motherfucker, I like this a lot.
Dude, when we went to see Joker, it was me, Phil, Marco, were you there?
Mm-hmm.
Marco, Pete, and Pete's friend. And Phil and I really loved it. And Pete and his buddy really hated it. And they legit yelled at us after the movie for liking it.
Well, Pete was speaking in a normal voice, but that's, you know.
I think it's
They were
trying to
angry.
match it.
They were angry that we liked it.
I think it's a very well shot movie. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's it. That's our list. So to recap, in S, we have Master of the Phantasm, The Dark Knight, and Joker. In A, we have Batman Returns, Begins, and Rises. In B, we have 66, 89, Forever, and Lego Batman. C is Batman, Superman, and Zack Snyder's Justice League. D is Batman and Robin and Joss Whedon's Justice League. And F is Catwoman.
I think our most contentious one on this list was Dark Knight Rises, honestly.
The most contentious, you said?
Yeah.
You think that was more contentious than Batman and Robin?
I agree. No, I mean, I think in terms of all four of us, I think we had differing opinions on Rises than Batman and Robin. I know you really don't like it, but I think us other three are at least not as cold to it as you were.
The medic. I said it at the top, but we were including the movies that had been released theatrically. And I feel like the animated movies outside of Mask of the Phantasm would be like a different kind of ranking thing that we would have to do. Obviously, I also know that there are other Batman animated films that have been released theatrically and on small scale, like the
Batman
Dark Ninja and certain other ones. But this is we could be here all day. Yeah, Killing Joke. We kept it to this, and I think that was fair.
I was tempted to add Suicide Squad to this, or the because of Affleck being in it. I did not add it in there because it's a shit movie. Which maybe should have been where the F spot would have gone. So maybe I should have left it in there.
I was only in it for 3 seconds, so
yeah,
sure, yeah.
In any event, now to close out, where do you think that the Batman, which drops March 4th, which we will have a review out for, where do you think that movie will rank on your personal list?
I have no clue. I don't know if I can answer that question. I don't like to have conjecture about. If seeing the Joker has taught me anything, is that I need to see it before I can really judge my feelings on it.
Well, that is terrible for podcast content. So right now I'm going to put it up with Batman Begins, and maybe a tier lower, because right now to me it feels like a Batman Begins copycat with Catwoman.
Yeah, I think from the visuals, it's sitting in the A for me, and the actual movie will do.
All right, it's sitting in the A for Marco. It's sitting on F for Spectrum. I think I'm a between A and B is where I lie if I'm going to really put myself there. But
Marco, what were you saying, man? We lost you.
It's A, and depending on how it comes out, it moves up or down a tier.
Okay. I have a hard time I feel like generally speaking, I know what I'll like, and I have a hard time believing that I could see this as anything less than an A. It'd have to do some critical things wrong. But I'm feeling just off the trailers like I'll probably find this to be an S tier Batman movie. Again, it'll at least be an A. That's how I feel right now. But we will know in just under a week, which is incredible. We will be putting out our review for you guys on Monday. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to do it live. Too many people won't have seen it and stuff like that. But we will make sure that it's out for you on Monday. So if you've seen it already or you want our thoughts before you go to the theaters, definitely do tune in for that. Super excited for that. Thank you guys so much for sticking with us through this tier list. Let us know if you liked it. This is something that we've been wanting to do for a long time, and we were never able to get it done, but we finally did. So let us know if this is something you'd like to see us do with other things. We could do Marvel movies. We could do DC movies. We could do
out for half of that Marvel movie one.
There's a lot of different things we can do. So let us know if you're into this. And let's do the plugs. Kale.
You can find me and my bad opinions on Twitter and Instagram at TotoInto. That's TOTOINTOW. You can find my work again for free and with better full screen readability at kalelord.com/writing.
All right. Marco.
Let's hope Spectrum holds on. You can find me at Mr. Marco Enomoto on Instagram and Twitter. Come talk to me about anime. Oh, I'm rewatching BoJack. And
Marco. He's rewatching BoJack.
And then his internet cuts out. That's
Oh my god, I love it.
that's
It's
par
so
for the course
funny.
for how BoJack, I think, the aura BoJack gives.
that was it.
Tyler.
Sorry, my cat was on my tiki shelf. He was fucking with my mugs. You can find me at the Tyler Olson on Instagram and Twitter. I will be playing Elden Ring. If you guys are curious about me streaming that, let me know. I have the ability to. If you would like me to, I can do that. Yeah, I've never played a Souls game, so let's see where the fuck this goes. I get frustrated very easily, so there's my hesitation on streaming it.
Good luck.
Yeah, that's should be fun.
Cool. As for me, I'm on Twitter and Instagram only at Sean Soapbox. I'm just really excited to see the Batman. That's it for me. I can't wait. I'll see you guys on the other side of that. Next week,
Sean.
live on Twitch. Well, you'll see me on the other side of it next week, live on Twitch. Saturday at 10 in the morning Eastern. Wednesday for Palsiples, 6 p.m. Eastern. Thank you guys for joining us. Until then, take care.
See you next week.